it. Welcome.
Hey, who'd you talk to? What's going on? It is me, Mike Lepre, King Mike L. This is Legit Paranormal Clips brought to you by LegitPodcast.com. It is March 30th, 2023. For the math geeks, we rejoice. We rejoice in such numbers like 3302023. There's so much we could do. I won't get into it, but joining me as always, Buddy Money Thayer. What's up, buddy?
Hey, Mike, how you doing tonight?
I'm doing good, thank you.
I am very excited this evening, Mike. It's a Thursday night, which means it's my Friday night of my work week. I'm drinking a delicious sour
Puke.
Not IPA, sour ale. We'll
Puke.
get into that later. You don't think it's a beer? Anyway, the Red Sox started a beautifully long season with a loss today, but it's starting the right direction. We got this. Baseball season is upon us.
You know, I saw you argue. I'm sorry,
Sorry,
but
go ahead,
I saw you argue with Ron Dog about that. And I, as a person who roots for the Yankees myself, anybody that celebrates day one is crazy.
I celebrate every day of the baseball season, Mike.
I don't. That's why I don't. That's why I'm more of a football guy. More
American pastime. It's long. It's endurance. It's keeping up with the team. And when I'm trying to have good endurance, I like to drink low APV beers like this. They're 5%, they're 6%, they're 4%. They're very crushable. They're very sweet, and they're very delicious.
Sounds like our next host. Joining us from Block Island Ghost Tours. It's Block Island Rick, a.k.a. Ghost Rick, a.k.a. it's Rick. What's up, Rick?
What up, guys? How we doing?
Pretty good, Rick. Pretty good.
Good. Buddy's drinking puke.
Oh, you got the sherbet again. I
see.
It
looks like grapefruit mixed with Pepto.
Rainbow sherbet, yes.
I swear to you, I have puked that exact same color, and I'm not trying to be gross, just true. So yeah, props to them.
Mike, missed you last week, brother.
Yeah, thank you, man. It's been a bunch of crashes and falls for me. That's basically what's gonna happen. I'm gonna probably start wearing one of those big helmets, like the guy from the Buffalo Bills used to wear. I forget his name, but he had that BB. He had that extra helmet,
BB, right? He had the big silly helmet.
Yeah. So, but I'm glad to be back on the Clip Show. I was talking today about the Block Island events that we have, and the Block Island Ghost Tour events that are coming up. Finalized with Tim Weisberg and Michelle Freed for June. Now, for everybody, Tim Weisberg, he puts himself, he's the paranormal editor at Ultimate Unexplained, radio talk show host on midnight.fm, and he's also commentator for the Travel Channel. With him is Michelle Freed, who was former producer of Art Bell, producer of Midnight Society Control. Wait, just hit Midnight Society Control, I think. I spell sometimes O is used. Producer of Midnight in the Desert and founder hypnotherapist at Butterfly Effect Center. She also does remote viewing. July, we have Matt Warner. We have a guest that'll be coming on that'll explain more about Matt Warner, the Warner Society. Matt's like a ball of energy that we're just gonna let ping pong around Block Island and see what happens. That's gonna be a fun time in July. In August, we have Christopher DeCesare, the ghost boy of Geneseo, whatever. It's but that's going to be. We've had him on as a guest in the past, and it's been both times have been very, very exciting. So those are, I think, the third weekend, if I'm correct, of each month, roughly.
Yep.
Right, Rick?
Yep. It's going to be a blast. You know, we're going to do some paranormal stuff. We're going to get to the beach. We're going to have some cocktails. We're going to, you know, have a couple little parties. You know, it's going to be fun.
You know what? I kept thinking, if only it was like Bigfoot, if we could say like beach booze and Bigfoot. You know what I mean? That'd be
That'd be epic.
It'd be beach booze and Bigfoot, because now it's beach booze and paranormal. Which
what about beach booze and Beelzebub?
Ooh.
Yeah, well, that's a different kind of party. The guy might not show up.
That's it.
So before we get into spooky clips or what is it we're supposed to review, this one came across. I had a show. This is absolutely terrifying to me. This is me as Barack Obama doing a pop song.
Come on, be my baby, come on, be my baby, come on. I'm in love with the shape of you. We push and pull like a magnet do. Although my heart is falling too. I'm in love with your body.
I'm still dancing, sorry. Yeah, that was me as Barack Obama doing a pop song. Well, terrifying.
Paranormal, for sure.
A little scary, yeah.
Yeah. Wait,
the definition of paranormal.
Remind me then not to show you the Kobe Bryant or Jack Nicholson one. Oh, poor David Barr. Dreamy David Barr, what he has to sit through.
Oh, poor bastard.
All right, buddy, would you like to introduce, what's another synonym for that? Bring out our guest.
Yes, our guest has been a guest on Legit Paranormal before. I think it was a year or so ago. He hails from the Commonwealth, the lovely state north of us of massive Massachusetts. He's been a paranormal investigator for many years and has a lot of really great stuff to show us tonight. Please welcome to the show, Russ Stiver.
What's up, Russ?
How we doing, guys? I got three things to say right now after listening to that intro going on, and I've been building it up in my head.
Go ahead,
buddy. Terrible loss for the Red Sox today. I'm right there with you.
Yeah, buddy.
I am an Guardians fan.
Guardians.
I have to wait until after 10 p.m. tonight to even see first pitch for that one. Secondly, Rick, I need to get down to Block Island, come down and see you, and I believe I have a date in mind right now already as it is. And Mike, I actually work very closely with Matt Warner.
That's right, you do.
I am actually a member of Warner Paranormal Preservation Society.
That's right, you are.
I am, sir. And we help run two locations up here. One is the Heart Stuff Hall, and the other one is the House of Hurt and Pain.
Great name for a house.
Well, it's actually surprisingly it is a play on names and it is a play on words. It's actually HIRT and PAYNE, and it's actually the names of the families that lived in the house. So it's actually the House of Hurt and Pain.
Fucking hey. So wait, number 3, were you reminding me that I said this, or were you?
No, I was saying I work well with Warner.
No, but did you hear the part where I said that I won't explain him because we have someone else coming on that can explain him more?
Yeah, I figured you were talking about him.
I think you blanked out. Rick, was he listening to that part? Right or wrong?
No, I think he's got it. But
yeah?
I once dated a girl who I called the House of Hurt and Pain back in the day.
Really?
Similarities, you know?
Hurt, pain, and bankruptcy, huh?
I would rather it be a house called that because a house cannot follow me around. It can only stay at that one address.
Very true. Very true.
That's what I'm saying. Now, Russ, before we anything else coming up too with the Warner Society?
We actually have a
word, so I'm trying to keep up with what it's called. It's Warner Paranormal, something else. I get it. I don't want to do
Paranormal Preservation Society.
There it is. Why can't I get preservation? Let me just write it down.
A big word, Mike.
It is too big for me. Preservation.
But he also has his original group, which is Warner Paranormal Explorers.
Yep.
Which is an offshoot of the Preservation Society.
Similar names.
Yes. It was easier just to do it that way. But what are you drinking now, buddy?
The
Valentine's Day cup.
The Frozy cup. It's a lovely orange and mango. It's delicious.
So now, Russ. To interrupt Buddy on purpose. When you go on these ghost investigations, paranormal investigations, let's first get your angle on stuff. When you get the call that someone, first of all, public or private property, what type of investigation?
I've done both. I'm originally from Ohio. I've been investigating, I wouldn't say professionally, but investigating exploratory for the last 25 years.
Well, what makes it professionally?
There really is no professional to it.
That's my point. So just say,
Yeah, that's why I said exploratory.
I've been doing it for 20 years. Fuck it.
Yeah.
I'll get you pro. I'll get you like a pro thing. We'll make it like a pro. I'll get you like a. I'm gonna officially stop making people pros.
Okay,
Buddy,
fantastic.
People pros. Can you check with HR Tuesday, 11:30?
That's the tight line to walk, Mike.
All right.
I mean, do we have the levels? Like we have like amateur, like novice, expert.
Yeah. I wouldn't say expert.
I would just. Mine would just say dumb, and I wouldn't even spell dumb right. It'd be 2 M's. That's how I roll. So now, Russ, when you do go to these things, all right. What is your role? Everybody has a role when they go on these investigations. Certain people draw things to them. Certain people are good with listening, paying attention, details. There's a guy that's the tech guy. He comes out with all these things that beep and whiz. I've seen different groups. I've even seen Ocean State Paranormal. I've seen things like that. I know who does what, and I know who doesn't do certain things too. But anyways, back to your thing. I was only talking about Joey, buddy. I was only talking about Joey, not you. Relax. What in your group? What is it that you do?
I'm more or less a jack of all trades and a master of none.
Yep. Wild card.
I listen to all the details. I'm a big history person, so I like to get the details of the location of the places and things like that. Mm-hmm. I know the tech. I know what we're working with. If I've never seen a piece of equipment before, at least I know somewhat how it works, so I can at least explain to the fact of this is why what's happening or this is why it's being set off. It's more or less, and I'm one of those guys that when you walk into an investigation, I'm not very vocal. I'm one of those ones that will just sit in the corner and just kind of take the environment in.
Love it.
So, musician background?
No, sir.
All right. So then,
choir for 8 years in high school, but other than that, I didn't go to high school for 8 years, but
because kicking it to Rick, didn't it sound like he almost had a musician's way of approach? And you just listen to him talk about that approach.
Yeah, I can see that. Right,
like the style of it, like a musician likes to absorb it and then take it all in, see what's going on, bounce it off other people. All right. So
I'm very much one of those big people that like to walk into a room or read the room and kind of see what the environment is and kind of see what you're working with. I've always been that way. Whether it be an investigation, whether it be going out to eat somewhere, whether it be going to a bar, I like to see every angle of every aspect.
Yeah, I have that same problem, I'm going to call it, because I like to throw myself into like different environments. I like to be that, like, I like to take the fish home without waiting the couple of days for the bag to friggin' float in the tank, and I like to just throw it in the water, see how it makes out. Like, that's what I would be as a fish. I would just jump in, and that doesn't always work out. But I guess it's good when you're doing investigations because you might as well jump in and get in the room.
Well, you live and you learn.
Yeah, that's hey, ask Rick about that. Would you? You know what the best is when you get a quote like that that's so open ended, and you know what I mean. Like back in the days, you were a kid, it would be like you'd say like, yeah, and then what you say, or then what, one of those jokes. Sorry, Rick. So
Rick's out here all on an island by himself.
That's it. This time of year, it feels like I'm by myself a lot of the time.
His cat tried to kill me last time I was down on the island. It tried to take all the body heat I had from my body. It sat on my head, my arm, my leg, my waist, my foot, my hip. I kept turning. The cat kept sitting. I kept thinking, if I turn fast, the cat will jump off. No. Cat hangs on like he's surfing.
That cat's going to North Korea in 3 days.
Oh, boy.
Kung Pao chicken or General Tso's?
I tell you, it's going to live, but we'll see if it ends up on a menu somewhere.
And PETA, we'll see you in a couple days.
Yeah.
Hey, buddy, what are you doing right now?
I'm listening to this banter about a cat about to go to Korea and take on the communists.
What would you like to do first, buddy? Would you like to see something as a photo? Would you like to hear some audio? Would you like to see a video? What would you like to see?
I have to.
Want your audio?
Yeah, let's play some audio because he has some really good audio, Mike.
All right. So wait a minute.
Now, I will say this before you play the clips or anything like that. Buddy, give me the heads up what the title of the clip is first so I know what I'm listening to.
All right.
And also, please feel free. Speculation is welcome.
Okay.
This is called Talk to Me.
Okay. It's going to be very low.
We're sorry. You have reached a number that has been disconnected or is no longer in service. If you feel you have reached this recording in error, please...
This is called Talk to Me.
Ooh, I heard it.
All right, I'm going to stop it. All right, wait a minute. So now, here's what we usually do, Russ. I'm going to play it again, and then I'm going to tell you what I think I heard. And then they'll make it more intelligent as it goes around, and then it'll get back to you. Here we go.
We're sorry.
So it definitely is the title that is written.
Yeah.
It's definitely Talk to Me. Now, what room were you in? Who were you with? Who were you with? Sorry.
This was actually at a location. All the ones I've sent to Buddy were actually all from one location, and it's Madison Seminary in Madison, Ohio. Right. Now owned by Adam Kimmel. We used to, when the previous owners owned it, actually when I was in Ohio, my previous group, Collective Paranormal Research Society, we were the resident investigators there. We would go up there every weekend. We'd investigate. We helped clean the place up, everything like that. This was actually in a room in the second floor. There's so many rooms in this building. I'm trying to recollect where exactly it was.
Yeah, just make it up. We're not going to know.
Oh, no. But the people that are listening that have been there, they'd like to know. But
fucking Mike.
All right, second floor. Here we go. Talk to me one more time. Wait a minute.
Oh.
Yeah. Right. So again, who you with?
I'm with two other male investigators.
High pitched male investigator? No.
I'm talking baritone.
Rick, what do you think when you hear that?
I think that was a sexy lady ghost. That was nice.
I don't know why I go to Rick first. I got in the notes. I'm going.
Why? You guys heard that and didn't think? Hey, yeah, right,
I didn't think. No. I didn't think. I don't know. Was it, Buddy? Was that sexy sounding?
Play it again, Mike.
Because whispering, maybe because you can hear the talk to me.
Right. It was that seductive.
Oh,
it did sound a little seductive.
Buddy, that was pretty good.
So, all right.
Yo, ever heard of Jerkmate? It's
whoa, wrong one again. All right, hold on, my bad. That's because you said sexy. Never mind. Wait, hold on. Wait. Did you hear it? Wait.
Oh,
yeah. All right, now. Yeah, I don't hear a sexy voice. No. I hear the sound of a woman who's in an argument with you, and you just want to stop the argument, and she's still like talk to me. Like, let's get back into this. That's what I hear.
No, she's
All
like,
right, buddy. Oh,
she's like that for sure.
all right. Well,
There's no high pitch though. There's no low pitch. There's no pitch to the voice. It does definitively sound like a woman's whisper, and you hear every syllable. And that's what I love this one. This is great.
Can I get
me? I love this one.
Can I get a heads up on the seductive buddy look from now on? Can you give me like a buzzer before you're going to do? You don't need it. You would not on Halloween, Prince. Oh no! All right, Russ. What? Tell us what we are hearing by your accounts.
I have no idea what you guys are. There's a plethora of things that are going on right now that I'm trying to absorb.
Right, that's how it goes. Yeah.
I don't know if that's good for my mental health, but
no, it usually never is.
I'm attempting. No, but it
was it a woman?
You are kind of right in a way.
All right.
Because of the simple fact of it is the history of this location, it was actually used as a mental facility by Cleveland. And battered women and things like that were actually kept at this location. So it could be
So in other words, there's battered women that have been kept there, and
correct.
We're talking about them as if they're sexy. Well, wait a minute. Let me rephrase that. These two guys are talking about them as if they're sexy. I didn't say sexy at all.
Well, I mean,
look at me back away from the camera. Watch. Classic ESPN move.
It is almost sweet nothings.
See, Ross, I knew it.
All right. So
it is almost whispering sweet nothings.
So, all right. It is whispering sweet nothings. But it's saying, talk to me. So
correct.
Now, that's a very confusing comment for a spirit to make based on the fact that, like, you didn't hear it till like later on, right? Did you hear it live? Was it? Did you hear it live? Or you
no, we did not. We didn't hear it until we actually reviewed our audio.
So it's one of those break through the signal type thing energies. So
and that was one of those things. If I remember correctly, I mean, you heard no talking in the background of us, but we asked a question of, if there's anything you want to tell us, go ahead and tell us. And then, of course, you wait your 20, 30 seconds between questions. Some do it shorter, some do it longer. And between those questions, that's what we got.
So my thing always is when they leave comments like that, spirits, ghosts, whatever we want to call them, like, why say talk to me when I can't hear you? You know what I mean? Like,
I don't know that though.
No, but they don't. Two of us. Rick, you're next to go.
We're on the Shit Show Express over here.
Oh no, it's nothing. This is just status quo.
Just lost my school there, guys.
Status quo at night, for being honest. Actually,
if Buddy didn't fall, it wouldn't be a night.
Oh, Buddy didn't fall. Buddy's okay.
Yeah, I'm saying I feel like cats. So, Rick, do you understand what I'm saying, though? Like to exert all that energy, which I think it would take energy to reach out, to make contact, to make any voice come through, and to then say something like that's in the present tense that someone's not going to hear till like later on a playback, if ever. I don't know. Is there a disconnect? What I'm saying is that maybe they don't know that we can't hear them, we can't interact. They don't know we can't hear them. Like, what am I missing?
Well, maybe that's what they're trying to communicate that to whoever was there. They might not know that we can't hear them at that point.
Right.
All right. So, Russ, would you agree to that stance that they just you would assume that they don't understand that we don't hear them at that moment?
I would agree with that because I think a lot of the spirits out there don't realize that they're actually dead. They're trapped in a loop. And when you have a group like myself and my team that was there, they get used to you. So once they get to see you and they get familiar, it's almost like a Beetlejuice kind of thing where they became familiar to them. So they decided to show themselves.
Yeah, Buddy's got an example of that down at the Armory. There's certain.
I need to make it down to the Armory. I've seen some great things come out of there.
Buddy's one of them. But yeah, so he's proof though that you can get to know Rick. You must have certain spots in Block Island now. You guys are getting familiar with what's around you, and they're getting familiar with you.
Oh yeah, no, we have a certain spirit that comes through almost nightly in the summertime over by the where it was the scene of a pretty horrific plane crash, and there's this spirit named Jeffrey who comes out and says hi Rick, basically wants to have some conversations. It's great.
Yeah, see, I don't have a BFF in the paranormal world, and it's pretty cool so far. So moving on with that, is the next sound from the same room?
Which one is this one?
Hum 2.
Play Hum 1 first.
There is no Hum 1, and I can't figure out why Buddy would label it 2.
But he didn't label these.
I labeled them. Yeah, go ahead and play the second one. It is not. It's actually from a hallway.
All right. Wait. Oh, that's like a sounds like a little kid type sound.
Yes, sir.
All right, so I'm gonna say that was a demon spirit.
No, definitely not. This was on the second floor, of course, of Madison Seminary. We were all in the hallway doing a EVP session, just sitting there, and like I said before, the history of the building is prior to being acquired by
the better
Cleveland mental facilities. The start of this was actually a seminary school. After it shut down the seminary school, it was actually used as a home for downtrodden women of the Civil War whose husband died and they could not own land. So they were sent to live here. So she was sent to live, people were sent to live here with their kids and things like that. And that's where they were grown up and raised and everything else like that. So we've had multiple interactions with children spirits at this location.
So, all right. Buddy, you want to take this next one before I steer it in the direction I'm going to steer it in? Because, here's my thing. I got to say it because I got to say it. If I don't say it, I didn't say it.
I thought I was going to steer it in a direction before you.
My problem has always been for the last couple of years doing this show, when it comes to kids and dogs, I can't wrap my head around the idea that upon death, they would not immediately pass over or move on to wherever it is they're going. And then secondly, if the case is that they are stuck there and they don't understand that they need to pass over, well, then the paranormal world has a lot of explaining to do with all the people that passed spirits over and haven't gotten to these kids. That's where I am with that. Like, it's weird to me. It's just a weird fact. Like, when I think about it, I go, well, geez, what? Really? Yeah, if it really was a kid, I'm like, it's weird because I guess I don't give as much care about people as I do a kid. I just feel like a kid's life wasn't very long. It's more innocent. And I always think that, again, where really pure good is, that's where really good evil or bad evil can be created. So when you lose a child in a building, something like that, that's the perfect spot for something evil to take its place and pretend to be a child, because that's the easiest way to lure you in. I just have a hard time with balancing my universe with dogs and kids, getting stuck. Rick?
I think there's a lot of kid spirits that have been heard, recorded, seen for it to for them all to be demonic. You know what I mean? I think kids get stuck.
Yeah. So, I mean, Buddy?
I'm in a total agreement with Rick. I myself have captured many a child spirit. I don't think I've been surrounded by demons that whole time. Honestly, I think this is idealistic of you to
all right. So then all these mediums, all these people that have been able to pass people on in the past, right? They can pass people on. I help people pass on all these. They're pretty much all Lucy now, right? Because Lucy, you've got some explaining to do. Like, what are you doing? Where you been? You knew? You knew and you didn't do nothing? Where you been? All right, I digress. Russ, you see where I'm going on with this? Like,
I do see where you're going on with that. And
it's a moral code with me. Like, it's just like, really? Like, it would be that unfair? I guess life is that. It's just never going to be fair, but would it be that unfair?
I'm going to bring up 2 points here for you, Mike. All right. So locations that I got a train coming through. Sorry, I live right next to train tracks.
It's kind of cool.
Locations that you have children's spirits come through.
Mm-hmm.
Now, is it a happenstance that they're there, or is it because that's a location that they've always known?
All right, but that's just a case of them being informed then. Right? That's just a case of them. So that's just a case of them being informed. They just need
that's a case of them being comfortable where they're at. It's where they've always known.
Yeah. I just feel like that's a
So what's the difference from Ian McDougall haunting Murphy's Pub in Boston because he drank there every night for 20 years versus a child that grew up in a place where they only knew that's still there?
Well, what's the difference between me walking up to an 18-year-old male and slapping him in the face, and then me walking over a 6-year-old and I knee him right in the face and bust his nose? You know what the difference is? I get arrested for both. One's so much ridiculously worse that it's uncomparable almost. You know what I'm trying to say? Me slapping a guy and then kneeing a kid in the face. I get you. And I do agree with you that maybe this is the case some places. I'm, again, just venting my frustration with, then if that is the case, we need to speed things up because it just seems like, you know, I don't care about a guy named McDougall drinking at a bar. I would go drink with him. Like, let him live at the bar. He probably, you know, his wife ragged on him. His kids were crazy. His life was hectic. Let him sit at the bar the rest of his life. But the kid doesn't need to sit in a playroom that it's like back in the 18th century that he doesn't know about. I digress. Now on to the next. You guys want to hear that? We're gonna hear the hum again one more time.
Yeah. It's clear as hell.
It's definitely got a very high pitched, child or female.
And you can hear the people in the background talking too.
Yeah,
and it goes right over top of that.
Now, were there any females in the building?
There were, but none of them hummed because we had 5 different recorders running. 2 of them caught the same sound, but not any that would be near the females.
Cool.
Makes sense. Makes it creepier. Again, it's a scary thought. I think that it is.
Well, then, if I know that the next 3 that are coming up, it's gonna make you kind of.
I know. You believe me, I'm already ahead of you. This is all a show here. I believe me, I'm ahead of you. I'm looking at the Here we go. Now, that was just picked up on recording.
Correct.
Mike, play it again.
It's the little kid screaming, playing.
Yeah, no, wrong one. That's him.
Oh, no, I'm sorry.
Oh.
All right.
Yeah, that didn't sound like playing to me. That sounded scared, like a scared kid.
But I don't know. I'm playing again then because I don't know if I hear like in other words, from having kids and having a daughter who could hit a pitch that was like would break wine glasses when they play sometimes. No, it's not You're not to repeat it twice. No. I'm going to say no. That it's not very happy if you're going to repeat it twice. Buddy, what did you hear?
I can like almost see the kid screaming. Like it's so clear to me. You know, it's so like there present. And I can hear the filters that were used. That's noise reduction or but there's a filter thrown in there by the audio equipment, the computer software. So that kind of makes the voice sound a little bit like a little bit phantomy, a little bit, but the scream is like so clear and crisp, and like I said, I can almost picture the girl standing in front of me yelling like that.
Rick?
Yeah, out of all the audio clips we've heard since I've been doing this, that's probably the most disturbing one I've heard on all of our shows.
So now, Russ, did you think there were kids, or did you think there were kids there when you were there?
Okay, now I cannot take credit for this EVP because it is not my personal EVP. This is actually a friend of mine's that actually sent it to me to help clean up. I will tell you the story of this one, and this will going to make a lot more sense to all of you if you know the history.
Yes.
This is from the Villisca Axe Murder House.
Ooh.
I don't, but okay. The Villisca, pronounce it one more time.
Villisca.
Villisca. I got it.
Or whatever, however anybody pronounces it. There's 9 different pronunciations of it. But this is actually a audio clip from an investigation one of my friends did that they sent to me to ask me to help clean it up and actually analyze and see what I thought of this. And I got permission to send it in to you guys from them, and they said go for it. And this is one of the most prolific, profound, incredible EVPs I have heard in my entire time investigating. And once you know the history of this location, you can kind of understand why the scream. Because in the axe murder case, there was one girl that was found with the defensive wounds.
All right. Yeah, that sounds defensive. It sounded like she was when I meant playing, I meant like play fighting almost, I guess, because that was like a push away type scream. Yeah.
Yes. So if you actually listen to the clip closely, towards the end of it, you hear a male voice say something. I'll let you listen to it again. And I'm not going to say anything.
All right. It ended too soon. No. Yeah. So it's at the end. I hear like now. That's the sound I heard. So if you guys can figure out what like it was. I'll
let you guys speculate because I have a feeling I know what it says.
I do hear a male voice at the end or a deeper voice at the end. But I feel like I can hear that as the clip kind of plays through. It just comes through clearer at the end.
Different.
But
yeah.
I feel like
it's like over here.
I feel like it's present through most of the clip, if not. I mean, it's not as clear as the girl, but I mean, I think I don't know what's being said though. It does have that ow, maybe sound.
I thought it said get down. How about that?
I would subscribe to that.
Rick, what did you hear?
I couldn't make it out. I'm dying to know though.
It's at the very end. The problem was if you don't play the whole clip through, it starts to the You did it again. Watch. Wait, was that? Hold on.
That was the hum.
Hold on.
So after I have 2 daughters.
Yep.
And this clip actually brought me to tears listening to this over and over and over again. Because I can't even imagine.
Yeah.
At the end of the clip, the male voice I believe from the history that I know and from what I can make out from the EVP, it says stop moving around.
Yeah. Well, there's something around. That was the last sound. I tried to harmonize it. It was nothing around.
Oh.
I heard round.
And like I said, there was only one girl that was in that house that had defensive wounds. So that would be the male that was the murderer saying, stop moving around.
What the
or
fuck?
even get down.
That's creepy,
Even
dude.
if he's saying get down as he's attacking me. Yeah.
Could you play it one more time now? Now that
Yeah.
Now that's in your head?
Yeah.
Get on the ground. No. Anyone forget on the ground? No one? Get on the ground? That's what I've been hearing. Round, get around, get on the ground. Get on the
I
ground.
don't hear that G force to it.
Well, is this down south or is this someplace where there'd be more of a southern accent?
Iowa.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, Iowa does have it's mixed, so the G would not get on the ground. You're not going to hear much of good. It's not like us. I mean, serious. They get on the ground, get on the ground, get on the ground.
Yeah.
We'd be like, get on the ground.
Well, the thing about it is, they still have never caught the person that did this.
Right.
Oh, that's too bad right there.
I mean, I believe it
And they won't.
was 6 or 7 people that were killed in the house.
Right. This is in the 20s or something, right? So
It's never been
done.
solved.
No one will solve
They
it.
just blamed it on like a vagabond hobo.
Yep, that's exactly what they did. They said it was a passerby. It was,
Of course they did. And you know what, Rick? That usually means that's when it's somebody in the town.
Yeah.
Just by my humblest of you want to know how I think, right? When they drop the old, hey, it's a hobo, it's just a passer through.
Right.
Was it?
well, the sad thing about it is the history of this place is they actually had 2 of the kids from the neighbor's house over for a sleepover.
Really?
So it wasn't even just that family. It was 2 others that were murdered.
Jesus.
Yeah.
Efficient, I guess, if I got to say a positive word about the guy. But I mean, right now, I think he's a real, buddy, I hate to say this word on air, but he's a real jerk.
Jerk. Yeah, definitely.
Big time jerk.
That's horrendous. That's a horrible thing to hear.
My thought process of this EVP clip when I listened to it, and I knew the history of the location already as it was, and when they sent me this clip, I'm sitting here listening to it, and what I was thinking in my head is I'm legitimately sitting here listening to this happen again.
Right.
Yeah. No, that's exactly what it sounds like.
I'm legitimately putting myself in that bedroom and listening to it happen. And it just, like I said, I got 2 daughters myself, and to even think or fathom something like that, nope. I how many nights I spent listening to that, trying to clear it up, trying to clean it up for them, and just tears rolling down my face because I'm putting myself personally there.
Yeah, that's like an empath type thing. Like
it really is, honestly. But
because I wouldn't
more empathy than it is, and it's not even being an empath. It's this empathy of feeling sorrow for the situation and what had happened. And
see,
when you know the history,
I still couldn't get connected to, but I still, even with all that said, it still takes somebody different to be connected, vested, to be able to hear it. Like Buddy's saying, he can see things when he hears it, to be in that moment, right? It takes a certain type of person. I mean, I have a daughter myself, and I can hear that. And for some reason, even knowing the history, there's just something about when I hear that recorded. Is it recorded because it's what happened, or is it recorded because they're trying to get out evidence of what happened for you to hear? Like, that's my whole issue, I guess. Like, so are you re-listening to something that happened and having to re-listen to it, or was it its own way of trying to leave you a stamp, a time stamp, something to hear to help catch the person who did this? The fact that it's unexplained would lead me to that more, right? Like, they would love to hear some stuff going on.
During this investigation, I was told, and I actually did my research and checked up on things. During the investigations that my friends did, it was actually during the middle of a freak storm that happened. Mm-hmm. And they actually had to leave the building because it was hailing so bad that it actually broke 3 of the windows on the house.
Wow.
So there was actually, when this recording was running, there was no one in the house at all. The Axe Murder house is a very small house. I believe it's like a 3-bedroom, 6-room house, I want to say.
Yeah, it's tiny. Yeah.
So it was there was no one inside. They actually, because they were getting such interference from the storm, they actually decided to go back out and sit in the car because they couldn't really do anything because of the sound of the storm outside. Sure. But what kills me, yep, there it is. Small house.
Yeah.
Small house. What kills me is you hear nothing of the storm during that recording.
Yep.
But it was actually to the point because you can book overnights there. And
why couldn't you hear the storm?
That's a good question. It's depending on where the recorder was sitting. It depends on other elements, whether the storm had calmed down at that point when they got it and they hadn't gone back in to grab the recorder, or, I wasn't there. That's why.
But that's a really good skeptical view on that, my friend. Like, you really did a really good job that you stepped back and you actually looked at it from the other side, and you just gave me in my head a reason, because you just said about the storm, and I thought, yeah, that's a really good point. And then, wait a minute, why don't you hear it? So that's almost a positive and a negative for that sound. Like, in other words, Rick, you would think at your bar, if you heard a voice and it was hailing, you would get the sound of the hailing coming in, right?
Mm-hmm. There was a lot of noise. There was a lot of background noise in that clip. I know some of it was the software, like you hear the flange sound, but that's its job, is to cover up that low end, sound.
But he heard the original tape. Russ, you were breaking down the audio. Did you ever pick up the sound of hail?
I did. You did hear thumping in the background.
Yeah.
But the thing about it is, with cleaning it up,
you get rid of that.
Even with the original recording, that scream was still prevalent.
It's very prevalent, without a doubt.
Yeah. I didn't need to do any actually editing to that whatsoever. The only editing I actually really did to it was that male voice right at the end, because it was very low and it was very in the background. So I wanted to bring that more towards the front.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So, but the thing about it is, though, too, that I will say this, with clips like this, not being there personally, knowing the environment, knowing what's going on, knowing the location, knowing where the recorder was sat, I always approach it in a skeptical sense because I was not there physically and I don't know. You could sit there and say, oh, I got this voice saying, you're going to die. And I like, okay, who was there? Like Mike asked, who was in the room? Who, did you have any male, female investigate? Whatever.
Yep.
It's a skeptical approach to it. That's why I really don't like reviewing other people's audio. Yeah. Because I wasn't there. I don't know the environment. I don't know the surroundings. I don't know what was happening at that time.
But that's great to hear from somebody. And that's great for other people to hear from somebody, because they don't ever really get to hear that from somebody. Nobody usually makes a statement and gives both sides. They just give what side they want to give, and that's the side they ride. But to give both sides is showing that you're at least being logical and reasonable, and you're saying, well,
I'm being objective.
But it makes sense here, but it doesn't make sense there. Like, that's how you, Rick, would you agree? In life in general, it makes sense here, but it doesn't have to make sense there. It doesn't have to be the same team. It could be all
absolutely 1,000%.
All right. Buddy, would you like to hear the baby giggle next, or would you like to drink?
This will be a fun one.
Would you like to
baby giggle is good, Mike.
Are you sure you wouldn't like to have another fruit popsicle type beer?
I'm drinking one in the moment, Mike, so we'll just keep going.
You look good. All right, here is a baby giggle. So this I'm not okay. All right.
You'll hear it right after the squeak.
Yep. Is that a giggle? Yeah. So it goes. Then. Well,
See, the squeak you hear.
Yep.
Is actually an exhaust fan from a stovetop oven thing. But what we heard after that, we could not explain. And we actually physically heard that audibly.
Would the fan squeak if it just started up?
There's no power going to the building.
Oh, so the fan never moved.
The fan never moved.
Because you see what I'm saying, Rick, with the startup of that sound, like that click, it has the perfect tempo timing of like click, giggle. Watch. Just one point out. Bang. So it's bang on the 3. 1 and 3. You hear it? You hear the yep. Bang. Yeah. So if it was something that went bang, wham would be the again in my head. This doesn't make sense maybe to anybody, but that would be the
I get it. Also, if you listen to the clip, the squeak coming sounds closer to the recorder than the actual giggle does.
Definitely, without a doubt, that's definitely more to the upfront, and the giggle. It sounds like it's actually in the other room. Like if I heard you just played me, that'd be like it sounded like it was like using one of those little bike horns, and you just as
honked it once, and then it was like,
as someone that used to date my wife would say, you squoze it.
You squoze it.
That was I was like, really? And you dated him? Squoze? Squoze. So anyways, it would be like if I squoze that like a bike horn, right? Just one time, and then in the next room, the kid giggled because of the sound.
It's almost like
it's a reactionary giggle to that.
The reaction, correct. That's what I was getting at with that, like a baby. Like if you were to do something to a baby, you go ha, and then a baby goes ha, ha like.
Well, it gives you that, and it does also give you that 1 second of like, and then it giggles. You know what I mean? What the fuck are you? Hey, it's a joke. You know what I mean? Well, they don't say that. Babies don't usually talk like Italians, but we know what we're saying.
They could. I mean, if you're born in Jersey or something like that, I mean, they very well could.
I know. I knew a couple babies who talk like that.
My first words, my mother wrote it down, was "Oh, ma." Like I started off Italian, right?
Gabagoo.
Like, there's not my older brother kept saying to me, he goes, yeah, I mean, I'm however old his age, Italian American. I mean, what am I going to do? I'm like, Ray, no one calls us Italian Americans anymore. It's 2023. You're just like a 50-year-old white guy. Like, I don't know what else to tell you. It's not Italian Americans anymore, but I digress. Let them stick, Brother Ray. You can stick to whatever you like. You're a Dolphins fan like Buddy.
Those are the babies that come out going, hey.
Yeah, that's my point. Oh,
that's my kind of baby right there.
They pull us out by our gold chains. So let's go on. Let me play the baby giggle one more time.
Yeah.
What makes me believe and what makes me not is the exact same thing. It's the tempo of the noise to the beat because it is reactionary. So I'm going to hear it one more time. Because even if that was in one room, the baby heard it, it would giggle in the other room, right? So, wait, hold on. Final thoughts, Rick.
That one, I'm not sure. I'm still shocked by the one before it.
Yeah, but you go from a cry to you go from possibly getting stabbed.
Yeah, from getting
twice,
murdered to a little
baby giggling from a squeak.
Not even stabbed.
Wasn't.
A giggle in the wind. Yeah,
to a giggle. So it is tough, I guess. And I'll say this: the difference in sounds, like hearing that sound up front, hearing that in the background, is a little. I mean, obviously everybody listens to this show back with headphones. That's what I do because you got to hear what you got to hear. It's kind of hard for us to hear stuff through our speakers and be able to pick out what we're hearing. I just try to stick it to what's melodically close to that, and I just try to make the sounds, and then I break it down that way. But that's definitely different room type sounds as opposed to the other one, right? All right.
It's not all in one place.
But a baby giggle to me, from again my beliefs, is just as terrifying. A giggling baby ghost is terrifying.
Well, then I guess the
next one,
like I said, all these EVPs that I sent you are all from the same location.
I know.
So the next one that I believe you're going to play,
Laugh 2, it says.
The last two, Laugh 1 and 2.
Yep.
No, just Laugh 2.
Oh yeah. You'll have some fun with these ones.
Yeah.
All right, so this is Laugh 2. Again, Buddy didn't put any ones. They just put all the twos. All right, wait.
What the fuck?
Yeah.
What the fuck? Oh, fuck you, man. That is creepy.
Yeah.
All right.
Oh, my God.
Wait. So I'll let you guys go first, Buddy. Your thoughts on what
That's like evil villain. Creepy laugh. I don't know what I would do. I know what I would do. I would probably like pause my recording and like take my headphones off and take a minute because holy shit, that's creepy.
Rick, what did you hear?
I'd be in the car waiting for you, buddy. Whenever you came out after that, that's fine.
Right.
I'll be there.
So I'm going to tell you this. Now that was played. Now you caught that post being there, right? That
Correct.
wasn't heard. That wasn't
It
heard.
was not audibly heard.
Okay. The kids still scare me more than that voice. I've heard Mike Patton do that voice. In other words, I've heard people, I'm not joking, I'm not trying to make fun of it, I'm being honest. I've heard that voice come out of grown men. I've literally heard people make notes like that. And that sounds more like a guttural primal yell than a laugh. It sounds like it makes like that crescendo, like, and then just drops it.
It sounds like somebody's about to drop a beat on a metal song.
Yeah, that's what I'm trying to say.
That's
So
what,
let me hear one more time.
what we were saying. Yeah.
Oh.
What's up, Wisconsin?
Yeah. So I'm like, that's the world I come from, unfortunately, right? Like, that's where I was for like 12 years. So I've heard other bands who sound just like this guy. Now, does that mean that that's not demonic or somebody is scary? No, I'm just saying I know people like that. But I will tell you this again, when I heard it, I did not get the same feeling that I got when I heard, let's say, the Valeskia scream. Not even close. Like, in other words, when I heard this, it was almost like, all right, go ahead, be macho.
All right.
Well, that was the difference. I mean, that's the difference in the two clips. One's, a kid being assaulted.
Yeah, no, but it's just
and the other one sounds like I want to go out and assault somebody.
Mm-hmm. But it's like when you hear that, it's less frightening for me because it's like, oh yeah, tough guy scream. You know what I mean? Like,
well, see, the history of this floor is captured also on the second floor. And on the second floor of Madison Seminary, there is actually a very aggressive spirit up there.
Yeah,
that does not like us being there.
Sounds it.
So I think this was a more of a, I don't know if you want to say like a warning sign of like, hey, I'm here.
So that doesn't sound demonic.
No, I don't think so. I think that just sounds aggressive.
Well, I mean, because it doesn't sound like a human being should be making that growl. Listen again. You can say aggressive all you want. That sounds part animal, part person, a little bit of a blend with the way that the sound ends up being, right?
I feel like I'm in the front row at a Slipknot concert.
Right, but guttural, buddy? What do you think, right? Russ is kind of right.
Guttural, but at the end you can almost hear the like.
Yeah, I hear 3 puffs. Listen, of screams. What?
Okay.
3. I heard 3 screams. I didn't hear a laugh. I hear like but the problem is that the scream has a bit of a reverb. Is that what I'm looking for, Rick?
Yeah.
A little bit of hang to it, right?
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah, it definitely sounds.
The reason I label this laugh 1 and 2 is
Yeah, we don't get
because of the way the first part started out.
Oh, all right. So then if you added 1 to 2, you would get
Correct.
3. It would be the whole laugh.
Correct.
Buddy. I know you're in your own world of popsicle drinks, but listen to me. When you pull them over, we need 1 and 2 because
1 is right there, Mike. I'm looking at 1. Are you blind, dude?
I want a snapshot of my screen right now.
Oh,
You
we're
want
going to the
snapshot
Matrix.
of mine?
Do you want to do that? Play
How about
one.
I just play it, Mike? How
Go
about I
ahead.
just play it?
Be my guest.
Going to the Matrix with Buddy.
Ooh. Don't put that one in there.
All right,
Oh,
play that
wow.
again.
Yeah.
Play that again. No ooh. No ooh.
Okay.
So there's 2 voices there in my head. There's one that's going, yeah. Something else said something quick. And then it sounded like, again, the Slipknot chorus of yeah came back in.
Yeah, that one to me, it might have sounded like somebody with tuberculosis or something like that, like some really trying to get some breath out, maybe coughing,
That's
coughing up.
originally what I thought too, coughing up a lung and everything like that. And no one on my team had any sort of respiratory issues or anything like that when we caught that. Like that came out of nowhere. Like I said, that was not audible. We did not hear that.
Yeah, no, I'm not saying it was on your team, but I'm saying that sound to me reminded, you know what I mean?
Like a
Reminded
sick
me of that
elderly,
sound.
like waking up in the morning, coughing up a lung after 25 years of smoking.
Right.
Yeah. Or
So now-
25 years of being dead in this case.
This
Pretty much.
will sound dumb, but just for me. Which one came first? I know we got them labeled 1 and 2. Now, I would be led to believe 1 came first, but
So the one you just played was the first one.
here we go.
And then we broke it up because of the way we send files.
Yep.
We broke it up between 1 and 2. And the one you played first is the second. The one you just played is now the first.
Okay. Buddy, one more time on the first. And then as soon as it ends, I'll play the second. We'll see what we get. All right, so 2 is more amplified. Two was definitely had a clearer sound of the guy, right? I'm going to say the guy for now because I mean, what do we know, right? I'm just going to call it the guy. That sound is made louder on the second one. It's clearer. On the first one, it comes out in the background, almost repetitive. You hear that second voice. I don't know. What do you guys think? After hearing now 1 and 2 together, what are your thoughts on what you're hearing?
You ever see like a meathead rip off his shirt like when he's about to get into a fight and they start doing that,
No,
growl?
never. Nope.
Yeah.
Not from North Province with my broken nose like this. I've never seen one. But go ahead, Rick.
I mean, that's kind of what it sounds like to me. You know what I mean? Like somebody like, all right, you want to mess with me? I'm doing the circle with my shirt off, ready to fight.
Right.
Yeah, it is a very guttural, let's get ready to do this. Let's go type sound, right?
That's what I thought as well was the whole, you want to come at me? Guess what? I'm going to show you that I'm crazy enough. And
Yeah.
But again, I digress to the fact of, again, this is another spirit, demon, entity that's using all this energy to scream like this so that it can be recorded. You know what I'm trying to say? Like a scream is, you would think,
like every
again, they must
meathead
not know
we've
we
ever
can't hear
known.
them. They don't know we can't hear them, I guess, right?
Yeah.
or is it a residual of this is what happened, and we were just happened to be at the time and place when it happened.
Right.
So could the same be said for the children's voices, that they weren't children, they were just residuals?
Well, if they were residual, they'd still be children, especially if you caught their voice. I mean, maybe it was one of those things where, especially with the the baby giggle, maybe that sound that we heard was a sound that actually was made by someone and the baby reacted to it.
Yeah.
All right, but see, it does open the door for, it could be, and then it could also be a residual. And then where I get to on residuals is that are all residuals done just because it's just a residual, or are they done for a reason? In other words, if I had this massive collection of residuals that I could play people, I'd play them all the time. Like I would play it here, try to get somebody on that, try to get this. If I was like an evil demon type person, is what I'm saying. Like if I had the chessboard, I could move stuff. Like I would use residuals.
My question is though, in your residual life, because we all are just living a residual life. You wake up in the morning, you go to the bathroom, you make coffee, you do this, you do that, you have your routine.
Yep.
So are we catching that, or are we catching something that's, hey, I want to talk to you?
Or
me.
Or like an important memory. You know what I mean? We have our day to day, but we remember the things that are important.
Or what if it's all happening all at the same time simultaneously?
Oh,
right?
The multiverse.
No, but again, it could all happen at the same time, stacked up, still going linear, and you could get to hear it. There would be a way to hear it. And again, that's my head. But what I'm saying is, because it's residual, to me, if something can be residual and hang and loop, like you have like a loop, even if it's like a certain time loop or it doesn't come out for certain times or only responds, it still has got a loop to it. So mathematically, it's coming around. If everything would be residual, everything would just keep coming around constantly, right? Be a loop of our lives. Like it sometimes feels like you're just like a gerbil, not up a butt, buddy. Stop type. I know you're Googling gerbils up butts. I was gonna say a gerbil in like a hamster wheel. I should have said a hamster.
Like they always say, even a clock's fucking right twice a day.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
Or broken clocks right twice a day. Excuse me.
So see, this is what I like. I like to have the discussion of this and try to see it from both sides. And I love the fact that there is more than one option for what you can believe or choose to believe when you listen to these clips. Because,
well, here's the thing. 5 of those clips are my own clips that I caught on my recorder myself. I was physically there that night. That is my recorder.
Yeah.
And I still question them.
Yeah. It's awesome.
That's the best way it's just the best way of doing things in general, because like I'm personally someone who doesn't go all in on something unless I'm all in on something. So with
one of the worst EVPs that I hate listening to are footsteps.
Yep.
Because you're like, okay, I had a recorder laying here. Oh, was there anybody walking around? Well, yeah. And I'm like, then how do you know it's not their footsteps? Like,
you know what's truly terrifying, though, to be honest, is that there are a lot of paranormal groups that will skip the vetting part of things and will take what they heard.
They want that evidence.
Oh, and they will go right to the first available social media, and they'll play that clip, and they'll just tell you what you heard.
Yep.
And there's no other opinion to it. It's just, that's what you heard. I heard, no, that's what you heard. It's like,
So that's why when you were playing the clips that I was like, all right, listen to it first, and then I'll tell you the story behind it and what was going on. That way I gave you guys the freedom of power to think of what you hear yourself, what you could assume that it was. And I was in no way by being persuasive or anything like that.
Yeah, we usually don't let people do that, to be honest. We try to always play the clip before they can explain it, unless it's a certain circumstance, because even like when it's labeled, I sometimes don't like it because it already gives me an opinion on it. I love to hear and see these things first time. Let me hear it. Let me tell you what I think, because that's going to be my most honest opinion. And then I like to go back to the person who had the evidence and then ask them, what was it that I was really hearing? Because I know that I'm not right with my guesses. And Rick is half times right, but, Buddy's frozen like a beautiful Monet. He looks like the Buddy Lisa. Look at this for a second. Hold on a second. I want to show you guys something. This is...
Zooming in. There it is.
There
All
he
we
is.
need is
The mountains of Smithfield in the background. I'm loving it.
All right. Guys, before we wrap up, we only get through some EVPs. We'll have to have Russ on again for the video. I want to look at the photos.
Mike.
Buddy, go ahead, Rick.
Can we listen to the sexy ghost one more time before we go?
One more time. Let me just bring up this one photo, though, that Buddy put. Let's see if he put it. This one. All right. Now, that's Charlie Chaplin. Right? Like, I don't mean that's him. The shadow outline of this character is got like that kind of derby hat on. The
holding
Charlie
a cane
Chaplin
over his arm.
Suit. You know what I mean? Like it looks like he's wearing like at least a suit jacket type coat. But then again, is this guy here wearing a hat?
He is. He's wearing a Scully cap.
Wow. But
He was not there?
No. So wait a minute. First off, there would have to be the light would have to be way behind him to even get a close shot of that. It would have to be coming down, and the camera wouldn't catch it. It would catch the kid too. Because the thing is, that reflection could be that guy. If you turn that guy the right way, you could get that reflection.
It couldn't be.
Different angles. Yeah, no, can't.
No, I know angles. My point is, I'm saying.
Plus, he would be
in front of the shadow. I would
be
be like, oh, if he was dead in front of the shadow, I'd be like, that might be him. What I'm saying to you is, what he's wearing, the way he looks, there is no way the light could shine on it. You would just get that one shadow. He's got a kid standing next to him. That's not my point. Was I'm trying to figure out, like, it could have been that guy, but he's nowhere near the shadow. He's not close enough to it for the light to be that much of a shadow. Unless, Russ, you own one of those 40-foot lights they use on the highway when they fixed highways, which I'm gonna guess you don't. You don't.
Nope. I don't bring that on investigations with me. That's strictly a home use.
Yeah, that's just for fun when he wants to light it up. Now, what is it that you think? I don't want to say you think, but what is it that we're looking at?
Okay, so this was an investigation at the House of Wills in Cleveland, Ohio, which is a very nefarious and particularly well-known funeral home because it was the first Black-owned funeral home in Ohio.
Ooh. I don't know why that's new, but all right.
They hosted the likes of the Black Panthers.
Here you go. Now we're getting news.
They did a lot during the civil rights. This is actually the balcony area, staging area for where they held most of their major funerals because they had a lot of, this is actually in like an auditorium kind of seating area. There was only three of us up there. There's only three of us up there, me taking the picture, my investigator Aaron, and my investigator Justin.
That's awesome.
That is
who that one person is. I have no idea. We've tried to depict it. We've tried to recreate it. We took over 400 pictures trying to recreate that picture. And every time we tried to recreate it, either the shadow was 15 feet up on the wall from the flash or the light or whatever. But if you see the railing going around,
it
goes into him.
Yeah, it cuts through. No, I was looking at that. That's what I was trying to figure out if that was that it goes through. That's why I thought it looked like a cane at first when I said Charlie Chaplin.
But you are correct with the bowler hat. It kind of seems like a bowler hat.
Yeah. Buddy, wait, you rolling something?
Am I what?
Rolling something. It was a
noise. No, it's the dog. The dog is upstairs pushing a bone across the hardwoods.
Oh, well, that's allowed.
It's
so. Quite all right.
But
we allow dog noises.
That picture is probably one of the crowning jewels.
It's terrifying to think that. Did you see it right after you took it?
No, we were actually just shooting photos, and I during the investigation, I was just snapping photos, and I wasn't going back and reviewing them because we weren't getting a lot of activity. So I'm like, okay, if there was something like if you heard a noise or something, that you go back and immediately view it. This was kind of like just a quiet night. We weren't really getting a lot, and I was just taking photos, and this ended up popping up. Chris is here.
Hey, Chris. We'll see you in August, my friend. And yes, they are very interesting EVPs. So, all right, that picture there would. I don't know. I guess were you elated or scared when you first saw it? Because I think I might probably be like, oh my God, all right. Like, hey, oh, look at this. But then there's part of me that might go, hey, that guy was watching us the whole time. That's kind of cool.
And this is going to go more on the skeptical side of myself.
Mm-hmm.
I saw that photo and like I saw it on my camera and I'm like, all right, I need to upload these. So I uploaded it and I actually viewed it on my computer and I was like, oh, that could be a picture of my investigator Justin. And then I started looking at it more and I'm like, all right, okay, they're like, I'm an amateur photographer, so I know how shadows work and things like that. And I'm like, all right, there's no way. There's absolutely no way that could be that. And then
I'm would have to be on the ground level with him.
Yeah.
Right? Like waist level.
He's 6'4" to begin with.
Yeah.
And I'm like looking at this picture and I'm just like, okay, what is this? What is this? And I'm like zooming in on it and I'm like, okay, I can make out detail of what the hat is. I can make out detail of, what they're kind of sort of wearing. And it was
that room is rounded. I'm sorry to interrupt you, Russ. I'm just mapping it all out. But it is a circular.
It's a horseshoe.
Room. So as that shadow would be there, the wall is turning from where the people are standing.
No, that's a flat wall.
No, I mean like. Let me bring the picture back up. I mean from where your friends are, their back would be to a wall.
Correct.
That spirit would be on B wall that's going flat the other way.
Flat, right? Connecting to the wall.
So those stairs in between?
What is that?
Where the wall ends and it meets the new wall. See where there's that other stuff? The browns, like it looks like it could almost be a shadow of stairs, but it's not. You know what I'm trying to say? What is that?
Correct. But where you see the separation in the balcony area, the darker to the lighter.
Yep.
That is where it makes its turn.
Yeah. So it's on a turn. Yeah, because of the top. If you look at the top stone.
Yep.
The trim. That's where it turns. So it's right on the turn where the shadow would be.
Correct.
Jesus Christ. All right. That was terrifying. Russ, that was some pretty terrifying stuff. I appreciate that. Thank God I fall right asleep like a passed out old guy. Because if not, I would probably have I don't have dreams anymore. But I would probably be worried about. I can't even say that, to be honest. The thing that bothers me is just the kid thing, but I like to hear other ideas on it and to figure that out. For some reason, the one thing that doesn't work on me is aggressive ghosts. Whenever I hear an aggressive ghost sound, I guess I'm just, I've heard so many aggressive ghost sounds from the movies, video games, and stuff I've shoved into my head that when I hear a kid scream, it's so much more terrifying. Like I guess just that's.
You know what? And you're not the first person. You're not the first person to say that, because the simple fact of it is it's one of those things where everybody associates a child's voice on an EVP with, oh, it's a demon. It's something trying to cross over from the other world and trying to disguise themselves and things like that. And you know what? Sometimes that could be the case. In my 25 years of investigating, I've never experienced that. I've never come close to having to deal with a demon, but it's one of those things that's unsettling. That's like that meme that's going around on Facebook about how, it's great sleeping at night until 3:00 in the morning. You hear a kid laugh and you don't have a kid.
Yeah. Either way, whether it's a kid or a demon, it's still scary to me, right? Either way, it's still scary because of the intent. If it's coming across as an aggressive growl, I have less fear than if it's coming across trying to use a child's laugh, which is the ultimate of good, is a child's laugh. So if it's using that even scares. That's just how I am, I guess. I'm always looking for the second, shoe to fall, card to fall.
Well, because no one can hear a kid's laugh and not happen to smile and drop their guard and be like, oh, okay.
It's just and it doesn't belong.
Think back to the twins at The Shining.
I never watched that movie all the way through.
Oh, great movie.
Oh, come on.
I've never seen any of the Conjurings. I've never seen.
Classic movie.
I have only seen, when it comes to horror movies, Cujo, all the Friday the 13th. That had nothing to do with the horror. If you guys follow me on that one, because I think it was Friday the 13th Part 3, the scene in the Winnebago type thing, the camper. Anyone
That was
remember
like
that
7, but yeah, I know what you mean.
It was the hot girl that was in the movie. Oh, help me with this. Where Patrick something, he goes from it was like based on a Beatles song. He's the gardener, and he does that African dance that he learns on TV from watching TBS, and he takes it. You don't know what I'm talking about? He
7 degrees of explain.
Listen, he becomes popular with the girl. He becomes popular, and the girl dates him, and then she starts to not like him. And the only reason she's dating him because he pays her, because she ruins her mom's jacket at a party. It's like Can't Buy Me Love. There it is.
Can't Buy Me Love.
Can't Buy Me Love. That's
Eric Stoltz.
So the girl that was one of the two hot friends of the main girl that fools around with him is that hot girl that's in Friday the 13th Part 3 in the camp. Now, I don't remember anything else, but I remember that stuff.
If you ever want to do a movie show, trust me, hell
yeah, horror movie show.
No, I can't do horror movies. It'd have to be like a Cinemax After Dark type show where you're like,
dude, I was a store manager for Blockbuster for 8 years. Trust me, I know my movies, and I still consider keeping up on that.
I worked at Major Video when it became Blockbuster.
Oh,
so
there you go.
I share in your pain. I share in your pain. The whole "please be kind" rewind bull crap. And we still had. By the way, Major Video still had the X-rated room.
Mm-hmm.
That's one thing Blockbuster didn't have. I worked
at
a store called Family Video that had a.
They had to sell every single porn tape out of that back room.
Yep.
Now, guess who bought majority of those tapes?
Because you got them like 50% off, didn't you?
50% off. They weren't even in the system. I'm Italian. All I know is all my friends got porno videos.
They fell off the back of the truck.
They did. They fell off the truck on the way out. I must have gave away at least 10 to everybody. And they were like, why are you giving me 10? I was just like,
because they need to go.
Yeah, no, it was just like, because you asked for one. So in my way to break your balls, I'm giving you 10. Because what could you possibly, where are you going to put 10? So everybody
hide those. Yeah, hide those from your parents.
Yeah, that was my point.
Yeah, right?
That was my, hide this from your wife or girlfriend. 10. I don't want 10. I'm not keeping them.
The new news is Blockbuster's coming back.
Is it?
That's the new news out. Their website and their Twitter just went live again.
That's crazy. Caldor did the same thing. You know that, right, guys? Caldor locally coming back. I'm not joking.
Right, I heard that.
Oh, nice.
Bizarre
yeah,
shit.
their website went live with a picture that just said, "Please be kind while we rewind."
Oh, we should do that. You know what? One last shout out to Rocky Point. You should listen to what we're talking about right now and bring that back, please. Please bring back Rocky Point.
It's all grass, Mike. It's not going to happen.
I don't care. Make it new, but bring it back and hire the same meth, acid-taking drug addicts, drunks that work all the machines that strap you in. Oh, they made it so much more fun. Right? Those guys, I mean, they're always
at this point, why don't we just bring back Adventure Park in Jersey?
Yeah, that's true. Now I'm getting serious. I could never go to Wet and Wild. I've actually had 2 water slide incidents. One time I came down a slide in front of my whole family, my mom, my dad, my 2 brothers. I thought there were 3 bumps. So I braced after the 3rd bump, but there were 4. And I hit the 4th bump and literally projected like a goofy little kid face first into the pool. I thought I broke my whole body. And I remember just coming out of the water so scared and terrified to my mom and dad belly laughing and crying as if like they just saw Rickles. It was just like everybody just bent over. No one's helping me. Back in like the 80s, they ain't Rick. They're not helping you. Look at the kid, you know, that's all.
I'm sorry, hitting water at high speed
is fun.
Flat,
is
worse than hitting concrete at high speed.
Yeah, but that Now, if that was one of my brothers, I would have just laughed. That's where I take it with that.
Well, see, you were in the same position they were doing to you then. If that would have happened to somebody else.
I'm a hypocrite. Rick, I went over to Rick's house, Block Island. I made him watch like 20 minutes of people walking in the glass. Rick, am I lying?
He's not a lion.
No, I'm just in there. And the worst part is I always realize things afterwards. These people must think I'm crazy because I still laugh to this day if you make me watch people walk in the glass. Every time I watch it, I can't stop laughing because I'm always thinking, you're walking, and then all of a sudden, just imagine you just smash. Like,
did you see the bus stop one?
Yeah, we actually watched that with the father was just sitting in the truck filming.
Yep.
Yeah.
Woman gets up from the bench and just straight walks into it and is like,
Did you ever see the one where the guy, though, buddy, and we won't keep you much longer. You ever see the one where the guy, though, goes, he looks at it and he just drops his arms and he just goes, forget about it. Bang.
Yep.
That one is like chilling. Is that there's a decision being made, and it's a bad decision of like, I'm just gonna go through head first. Like, didn't even put his arms up. Just looked at it like, here we go.
The newest one I just saw, and buddy, yes, we won't keep you much longer because you're fading over there. I can tell. Was the one at the wedding reception where the guy's dancing and takes off his shirt and goes to run?
Oh, I haven't seen that one. I'd love to see that.
Yeah.
Especially if the guy took his shirt off, because anytime you take your shirt off, you deserve for something to happen in those situations. Like,
it's like a sliding glass door on this reception area, and this guy is like dancing and going crazy and just rips off his shirt and takes off running and just slams face first into this sliding door.
And do they laugh?
Somebody did. Maybe not him, but somebody laughed.
I'm like a little dog. I'm like a little dog sitting waiting for a treat. Like, I'm shaking right now. I want to see that video so bad.
Mike, I'll find it for you and I'll send it to you.
I don't know why I love other people getting hurt in ways that I know they didn't die. Like, that's just funny to me. Slipping on ice. We watched that, Rick, for another 10, 20 minutes.
Well, yeah, a little while.
Yeah, a little too
long. All right, guys. Well, Buddy's fading over there, so I
will wrap it up for you, Russ. So for Block Island Rick, for Buddy Money Thayer, it's me, Mike Levy King, Mike Elders was legit. Paranormal Clips brought to you by legitpodcast.com. Tomorrow night, 9 o'clock, 9:05. Daniel Benoit with Bigfoot Experience. Thank you so much.